From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show, including Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We got a plethora of features for you if you haven't checked it out. You can go shopping at the SOR Vault because you need one of our t-shirts. You can sign up for the SOR Space Travelers Club, $5 a month. Pick up a new book at We Read the Night. Check out Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire and much more. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by donating to Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. The first Tuesday of the month, we bring in Geraldine Orozco from BayAreaMeditation.com in San Francisco, California, for the Spiritual You. A pranic healer, Geraldine is versatile in her abilities to help people get to know their spiritual selves, along with helping people cope with their own off-world experiences. An experiencer herself, Geraldine can use that to help people define who they are, what they are, and how they could take care of themselves better. We have Geraldine for the first 2 hours of the show. Normally she goes the distance, but she's not feeling too well tonight. But in hour 3, we're going to get into the news early at 11 o'clock Pacific, so that would be 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. Eastern. And then at the bottom of hour number 3, we are going to be simulcasting with a radio show out of Vancouver. Now, Drex, a good friend of my show, good friend of mine, all right, he hosts a show that goes right across Canada, and we're going to connect with him. So we're going to be live right across Canada for the last 20 or so minutes of the show. So stick around for that. We got a real intense, fun show for you tonight. The beautiful and talented Geraldine Orozco, I know you're not feeling very good, but you got your best shoes on for tonight as you normally do. Thank you so much for coming back on Spaced Out Radio for the Spiritual You. We love you around here.
Yes, I do. Thank you so much, Dave. And, you know, it's just been such a long day. Today I had to wake up at 5 in the morning to do another project that I'm doing, and I had to go teach all day. So it's just been quite a busy week, but I am always so happy to be here.
We're always glad to have you here as well. And, you know, you really do a real good job for our listeners in this show in helping us learn so much about these topics. And, you know, I look at it, Geraldine, and I think, wow, you know, from where you were a couple of years ago when we first brought you on this show, when Lori and Fenton had told me about you that you were just having your coming out party and you'd only done 1 or 2 interviews before you had come on this show. And I remember that first time you were on, I'm like, I got to have Geraldine on often. And look at you now. Documentaries, conferences all over the United States. You, girl, have blown up.
It has been a wild ride. And, you know, it's really interesting, Dave, because it's like as soon as I think my life changed completely when I made a decision to completely surrender, you know, my wants and needs and kind of focus on being of service. And at that point, it just like everything just changed around me, Dave. And I met incredible people like you and like Lori, and it's been such a beautiful ride of unexpected events and things, and it's been a gift, I have to say. It's not for the faint of heart, but when you're ready to do the work that you need to do, I mean, it's like all these things open up for you, you know. So that's why I'm so passionate about talking about how to get you on track so you can experience that. And, you know, all you people that are ready to get on the service to other train, you guys do what you need to do to get there.
Do you regret going down the rabbit hole the way you did?
Not one moment. The awakening that I had, Dave, was so powerful and so drastic. I mean, literally, first of all, having the ability to see the multidimensional body from one day to the next was one thing that happened in 2013 after my abduction experience. And then after that, after the regression, having massive amounts of download of basically the world's historical timeline rewritten, That was one thing. And I have to tell you, I mean, I've had existential crises after those because my entire paradigm of belief was completely turned upside down. So, it took a minute, but I had to catch up really quick, and that allowed me to ask the right questions to help me follow through on my journey and see what I needed as a soul to understand how to integrate myself with that information. And I think that it's been incredible. I mean, after regression, it just took me one step closer to answering, the why. I always need to know why. Why is this happening? Why was I an abductee? Why was I contacted? Why did I have these downloads? And for me, it was a very organic experience, very life-changing experience. And I don't regret anything or change anything of it. It's just been a gift.
I wanted to talk to you about regression because there is so many ways that this can be done, yet there are so many ways this can be manipulated. Geraldine, you're somebody who learned a lot about yourself and your experiences through this type of regression type therapy, and it's been a positive for you, but for many people out there, they just cannot figure out what to do, what they should be doing, how they get those clear answers from a good hypnotherapist that's not going to put those images in their own head. Talk to me about regression therapy, why you believe in it.
Yeah, well, I do have to say something. Regression therapy is absolutely amazing, but that's not necessarily what got me to know what my purpose was going to be. I mean, and I just want to say this just to be clear, because it took many years of my own personal work destroying all of the aspects of myself that no longer served me in order to kind of turn into this clean slate, a clean understanding of myself, a very pure understanding of who I am. That work is absolutely necessary for all people that are on a journey to trying to find out what their mission is. Regression is an incredible tool to assist you in identifying the blockages in yourself or revisiting aspects of yourself that you want to open up, that you want to work with, to heal, to reintegrate. And for me, regression, when I first came into regression with Alba, for example, Alba Weinman, I really didn't know what regression was. I wasn't even, I didn't understand how it would affect me or assist me. My initial thought was I would like to see where it takes me and see what it opens up, and with that information, see if it can confirm my abduction experience, for example. And from that perspective, I mean, it allowed me to open all that up. Now, not everyone that goes into regression experiences, downloads and those things. Some people still are learning how to communicate with themselves, and that's really important. That's something that Alba and I have discussed. I mean, the journey is going to be different for every single person, but it's also depending on their level of connection with themselves. When you work and you meditate daily and you train yourself and you kind of work with connecting, with having that inner dialogue, when you go into deeper states like regression that are guided, then you can access some parts of yourself that, you need. But regression was interesting because at that point when I started, I really was like a completely clean slate. So a lot of the parts of myself that I needed to heal and to integrate, I had already worked on a lot of them. And I think what that did is it allowed an opening to kind of look and see beyond maybe this physical life, kind of go back to other aspects of myself and address them. And that opened up other things that like healing and, my extraterrestrial experiences. So that was a very interesting thing. Regression works in many ways. First of all, it works amazing as trauma therapy. It works in breaking certain habits and belief systems and program systems that you're trying to let go or transform. And for people that are having experiences that they have missing memories or are too traumatic to access otherwise, hypnotherapy is an incredible tool to utilize to help access those parts. So for those three main reasons are, what I would suggest hypnotherapy for. And of course, a lot of people come out of Alba sessions knowing exactly what they need to do, coming into their new careers because they address those aspects of themselves. It's not immediate. They have work to do afterwards, like myself. But when that opens up those, opportunities, then you can jump into those next parts, the next phase of your life.
How does one find a good clinical hypnotherapist that they can trust and that isn't going to put these thoughts in their head?
Yeah, that it's kind of a tough one. I guess the best way is by, referral. For me, I think the referral is the best way to do it. Alba Wyman, for example, she puts out her videos and examples of her experiences, her work with her clients. So you can kind of see how she works with clients. She won't guide or plant any kind of thoughts in your head when she's doing the regression. And she always knows what questions to ask in order to help you go deeper or to explore the experiences that you're looking at. That's really valuable. It's really valuable because she kind of goes in with you. And a lot of amazing hypnotherapists have that gift, that they connect with you, they go inside, and they're able to reveal aspects that some other people that are not on that level may not be able to go in with you. So it's really important, the length amount of experience that someone is in, and I would say their ability to explore, and also on their spiritual level, how they have been working with this information. Other people like Yvonne Smith, for example, when it comes to hypnotherapy for experiencers, Misha Johnston, Barbara Lamb, Yvonne Smith, they're amazing, and they've been working with hundreds of people. So they know exactly how to handle the delicate situation of, the regression or trauma, or when you're coming into missing time and reliving certain traumatic experiences. So it depends on their experience. And I would say that, check into their experience, check into their background. What is their specialty? Some people are more focused on past lives. Some people are more focused on, ET regression. Some are more focused on trauma and healing. And so I think it's important to identify what you want to do the regression for, and then try to find a practitioner that is dedicated to that specific thing. Because I think each healer has their own, their niche, their one thing that they're really good at. So it's important for you to connect with the one that would be perfect for that. And from that perspective, a lot of well-reviewed hypnotherapists, they know, that they're not supposed to guide you or implant thoughts or, insinuate any kind of thought forms when you're in regression. So those kinds of practices will differentiate a good hypnotherapist and, someone that's working more from ego, which means that they're, guiding or trying to get information or trying to become famous through your information. Because I've also seen that as well. Some hypnotherapists use some of their clients to put out information without really thinking about the journey of the client, and that's really bad. So, do your homework. That's the best thing I can say. Do your homework. Know what you want the hypnotherapist for first. Identify the best in that realm and do your homework about them. Figure out what, talk to other people that have had sessions with them.
Geraldine Orozco, the Spiritual You on Spaced Out Radio tonight. Geraldine, when it comes to the regression therapy, what are we looking to solve there? What mysteries and doors are we looking to open up?
It depends on what you're doing. First of all, for regression, you're tracing back, you're accessing a deeper state of the subconscious mind. So that means that you're accessing parts of yourself that are not normally accessible. That is the hope when you go into regression. And what you're doing is you're accessing the root cause of trauma. So where did those programs and belief systems originate? So if it takes you back to those core root issues, you open up those experiences and it completely allows you to work with the information there. In the experiencer aspect of it, people that have had missing time, people that have had experiences that are too traumatic in childhood that they have kind of blocked out, or oftentimes, the mind will create overlay memories. However, you know that it's an overlay because when the person tries to go back to that memory, there's emotions that come up that don't quite fit the overlay memory, or they feel like there's something missing or something wrong or some incomplete information. So it really helps you go to those circumstances or those memories and open up and work with that information. And, when you open those up, then it allows you to look at, in a very safe and comfortable environment, you are accessing that memory by, for example, looking at a screen, or you're looking at it as if you're observing yourself in that memory. And that really helps a lot because you're, in a way, pulling away from the emotional trauma that was caused during that experience. And it allows you to look at things from a more detached perspective. It helps you look at things from different perspectives, not just your experience, but other people that are playing the roles in those memories that are causing you trauma or pain. It helps you learn about them and process what occurred in that moment. So, when a hypnotherapist is trained well in doing this, and a lot of them are, they understand how to walk through these delicate situations. They guide the person through these emotional experiences and heal them from that perspective. So once a person is able to understand what had happened in those traumatic situations, they can heal, they can reintegrate from that. And what it does is when you come back, when you wake up, it's as if you feel more complete. That pain, that whatever deep trauma is now no longer triggered by that pain that you start experiencing in your life. A lot of the things that people try to change when they go into hypnotherapy is, all these deep triggers that are occurring and causing pain and suffering in the long term, creating blockages per se, or creating habits in their life that are harmful or not good for them. It can be anything from overeating to smoking to any number of things, any kind of trauma or fear. So you work with the root cause of the trauma and you heal it. You help understand what the root cause, and when you understand the root cause, you can then decide, do you want to continue going through the, unhealthy pattern or reaction of that cause, or do you want to change and maybe try something different? And that's what hypnotherapy is for. It's to help you assist other ways of, working with the same information. Now, I think now in this time and space, we've come to a point where hypnotherapy, it's evolving. I mean, I'm seeing different kinds of hypnotherapy and techniques all over the place. There's so many different people with new ways of doing hypnotherapy. So I think there's a hypnotherapist for every person. If you're trying to work on a more spiritual thing, if you're trying to work on entities and attachments, if you're trying to work on, mind control or traumas or smoking or weight gain, there are specialists and different techniques for all of those healing things, but all of them have to do with reaching that root cause of the pain.
We've got about 4.5 minutes before we got to go to break at the bottom of the hour. Geraldine Orozco is our guest tonight for the Spiritual You. I understand that we can go back in time and kind of try and rehash and heal some of those, incidents that have traumatized us to make us who we are today. How easy is it, or how difficult is it to try and clear some of these blockages?
It depends on the person, Dave. It's totally up to the person. If the person is ready to let go, to change, to address that pain, then you can change anything in your life. As healers, as, hypnotherapists, as reprogrammers, all we do is facilitate your own healing. That's all that we're doing. So it's completely up to you how you want to heal that. And, in my own sessions, that's why I always suggest to my clients, take a look at the blockages that you're ready to let go of, that you're ready to address, that you're ready to heal. Because some people are not ready to move on from some things. And it doesn't matter how many practitioners they visit. They can spend thousands of dollars, trust me, on getting healings and never get that fixed because in reality, the subconscious mind is just not ready. It is holding on. It believes that it needs that blockage, that it needs that trauma, that it's protecting and preserving some part of them that is so vulnerable. So, the more we learn, take time to learn about what trauma is, what blockages and pain is, and how it functions, how we interact with it, the more we can understand how to learn to release and let go of it. Because a lot of us, we come into a state of victimization, and we lose sight of the fact that we are indeed in charge of deciding whether we want to allow that to affect us or not. So it's 100% up to you, up to the person, if they're ready to let go and move on and change their life or not.
I guess that's true. I mean, it's with anything, like I can drop drinking Pepsi at a snap of a finger. I can't, stop smoking at the drop of a finger, at the snap of a finger. And many people are like that. Does it depend on the discipline of the scenario?
Well, discipline works if you understand why you need that discipline. And it's not so much about discipline or forcing yourself to follow something. I mean, a person, in order for someone to change, they have to really believe that, number one, what they're doing is harming them. They have to really believe that. Number two, they have to believe that stopping that is better for them. And what happens is that the parts of the person that want to hold on to habits, like, for example, smoking, there are, it's like a child within that is saying, you know what, I need that. I need that for my sanity. I need that to be stress-free. I need it to, or I just enjoy it. It's pleasure. It causes pleasure for me. So what parts of this person needs those things to help them cope with whatever it is? There's always something deep within. Now, of course, the chemical part of it is another thing. I mean, there's addictions that are very difficult to break. But regardless of that, the root cause of the addiction is what is the one that needs to be addressed. And that's the one that's always hardest to break, because a lot of us are going to create all kinds of excuses to continue to relive those habits, to preserve the part of us that is maybe crying out, asking for assistance. And it takes bravery. It takes bravery to look at that, to address it, to acknowledge it, and to do something about it. It does take time. So you just have to decide that you're ready. You're ready to change, and that's it.
Sounds way more simple than what you make it. Way more simple. I don't know if I agree with that, but Geraldine, I'm going to get you to hold on here because we are going to go to break at the bottom of the hour. Geraldine Orozco is here for the Spiritual You. She comes in the first Tuesday of every month. Her next appearance, December 3rd. And her final appearance of 2019 as we look towards 2020 very, very soon. The decade is closing in on us, but we have more Spiritual You with Geraldine Orozco on Spaced Out Radio right after this.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Finish off your weekend and kick off your new week with me, Everett Thiemer, right here on Spaced Out Sundays. I'm going to bring you great guests, a little bit of snark, and plenty of information to think about. But don't worry, there's going to be plenty of woo as well. We are going to hit everything in the paranormal and supernatural, including the odd psychic Sundays. So tune us in on Sunday, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio, you can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESSA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a Space Traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Looking for something new to push your limits? Look Beyond the Spectrum, a new docuseries featuring some of the best researchers in the world when it comes to everything from UFOs, government cover-ups, and Bigfoot in the forest. Truth seekers like Steve Bassett, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, Richard Dolan, as well as others all chip in to bring their knowledge to you. Beyond the Spectrum can be found on Amazon as well as Tubi TV. Tell us what you think on our Amazon page.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Great to have all of you with us. Reminder to all of you that if you end up wanting to check out our archives, we have them free for you at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We got some really cool things. Go join the chat right now in the SOR Space Travelers Club. That membership is $5 a month. You can do a little shopping at the SOR Vault because you need some of our t-shirts for your outings. You can also pick up a great book or two or three at We Read the Night. And remember, Captain Shirk has our news section updated daily. We have Geraldine Orozco here tonight for The Spiritual You. She comes in the first Tuesday of every month. Her website, GeraldineOrozco.com or BayAreaMeditation.com. We're talking regression therapy so far. And Geraldine, welcome back.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no problem. We like having you here. Right before the break, we were talking about regression therapy as to whether or not somebody should do that. What would you recommend somebody do this for? Does it have to be about ET contact or other strange phenomena going on? I know you mentioned smoking or drinking or narcotics, to try and clear the brain and all that sort of stuff. But if we focus on the strange and weird, is this something that you think people should go through?
Yes, I think that it's a wonderful option for people that are looking to change and to change different things. I mean, hypnosis is a very powerful tool. I mean, hypnosis takes you down to this subconscious state. And when you are there, it allows you to access parts of the brain that you can't normally access. And that really helps open up the opportunity for healing in someone. So, especially if you have habits like, for example, smoking or weight gain or fears and traumas, it really assists with that. One of the things that I, for example, had trauma about after my abduction experiences was the dentist, because as, reliving those experiences in hypnotherapy of being put in a medical chair that looked like a dental chair, it created such a tremendous trauma for me, and it was just impossible to get to the dentist. So hypnotherapy really helped me with that so much. And what it did, it lessened my fear and my anxiety around going to the dentist. And it was like a magical thing that really assisted incredibly. So that's an example. And it depends on what you're trying to address. I mean, for traumas like this that are really something that just makes it completely debilitating, that you can't move forward, hypnotherapy is a great way to access those parts if you can't do it other ways. Now, technically, all of these traumas, all of these things, they can be addressed and they can be accessed on your own. You can enter into meditation. You can take yourself to those parts. And that's one of the things that I'm a really big advocate at, being your own healer, your own therapist, in other words, of addressing those traumas. But sometimes we need a little help. We need some assistance. So hypnotherapy is indeed a really wonderful and powerful tool that we can utilize.
So for people who are using it for ET abductions or ET contact, what is something that we should be looking for within ourselves to try and figure out what is going on?
Well, for example, for ET contact, a lot of the memories that we're trying to access, for example, like myself, sometimes when I had the conscious experience in 2013, for example, a lot of those memories were very vivid. And if you have vivid memories from the contact experience, you can start working with those experiences, for example, in your meditation. You can revisit, you can connect with your higher self and access information as to why, you were connected with these beings. Why are you connecting with them? Why during that time you are, accessing that information. What I've been realizing in research is that a lot of the people that are experiencing ET contact, they reach a certain level of consciousness. There is a certain level of awareness that a person reaches, and it's almost as if it opens the door to that. And the level of awareness that they reach in order to have these kinds of interdimensional experiences can also be brought in from past life experiences, quote unquote past life, by the way, because these are all in reality, alternate timelines that we're coexisting with in this current time. So let's say that you are able to access that information. You begin to work with that. And it seems that as humans, as we evolve spiritually, a lot of us, we open up the possibility to the concept of interdimensional or extraterrestrial life, of contact. And it's my belief that sooner or later in our lives, we will access some of this information when you begin to question your existence or the universe or, how life was created on this planet. Sooner or later, when you go down the spiritual path far enough, a lot of people are met with this ET consciousness or the information of that. So, in meditation, if you're working on that, if you're diving into those questions, you can access that information on your own. We all have the ability to tap into the collective consciousness. All of us, we all have that ability. It just takes, focus and work. And I guess you need to learn how to meditate first. But we can all access that. Yeah. So, but on the other side of that.
Sorry, you go ahead. You finish up, and then we got a couple questions. I want you to finish on the other side here.
Yeah, no, I was saying, on the other side of that, if you are, an experiencer that has not had access to the memories of ET experience, then you're somebody that's going to want to go to a hypnotherapist and open those memories up, because a lot of them are blocked either, again, because of trauma, because of the technology that they utilize as well, and also because, maybe we're not ready to integrate that information. So when you go to hypnotherapy, you can open up those experiences and relive them and understand them and learn them and, assist yourself in integrating them in a more gentle and also guided way.
All right, got a couple questions from the audience here. Catherine is asking, Geraldine, what happens if you're using regression therapy and somehow a darker side gets opened up?
Well, the thing is this. What we need to understand as a human race, and we need to begin to integrate, is that we live in a reality where there is duality, right? There is the darkness and there is the light. And none of this would exist without either. So if we didn't have one, the other would not exist. And we need to really come to terms with that and what that means. All these experiences that we experience in life are things that, as a soul, we are choosing to experience on some level. On some level, we are experiencing those things. And ultimately, because we are consciousness becoming aware of ourselves through this little human body, playing these roles in these families, whatever it is, we're also playing roles on other dimensions like dream time or, for example, interdimensional, experiences that you have of abduction or meeting your hybrid children. Those are things that you as a soul have decided to experience in this lifetime, whether it's to wake you up, whether it's to allow you to progress and evolve as a human, as a spirit. So all of these experiences are part of your journey So if you go into hypnotherapy and you open up these darker things, like I've also had darker experiences in mine, or something that we perceive as darker experiences, okay? Part of us, we're going to feel afraid because it's something that is unknown. But we have to keep digging. We have to keep digging to understand what it means that these things occur to us. Our perception as humans tends to be very limited because most of our belief systems are a product of our society. And our society has a very specific way of grooming us to believe in things and also to judge things, to understand things, what is good, what is bad, what is pure, what is divine. Those laws of the universe that are the basic laws of creation, which is what is natural, what is healthy, what is pure life force, what is healthy and living and vibrant, and what is death. Those two contrasts are the things that we need to start understanding, as opposed to fabricated perceptions that are created by the social norm. So we need to start to look at things from a little bit bigger picture, especially when we're coming into these kinds of unknown realms of extraterrestrial contact, okay? Because a lot of these things that are happening that we perceive as negative, for example, I'll give you an example. I abducted and by a draconian group that is utilizing my body to remote view some kind of governmental movements or some kind of things going on, and they're using implants in my body to read or to track or things like that. We couldn't possibly understand their motives and their reasons and their agendas, because we're talking about, I want to say, quote unquote, wars of consciousness that go beyond our physical understanding. Okay, so when we're opening these kinds of rabbit holes and going deep in there, we have to be prepared to look at things from a different perspective, not just the human perspective. But the most important thing to remember, that when you do go down that way, you will understand that the human, your perspective and your belief and your understanding of those things is the most powerful thing, because you do have full control over your physical body. You have full control over your belief systems, how you feel, how you perceive things. And the human is never a victim, again, because these are all experiences that you choose to have at one point or another. Okay, I know that that's a complex way to look at things, but it's important that we begin to think outside the parameters of our current belief systems and structures of belief.
I can understand that, but there's a lot of people out there who have been taken, had very negative experiences, who believe, Geraldine, that it was against everything that they stand for and against their own free will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I did too. When it first happened, when I first realized that I was being used, as a reproductive. You can say the idea that I was being used as a reproductive machine, right? But the thing is this: we are not this human body. We are beyond the human body. The problem is that we look at ourselves and we feel that we are nothing but this physical shell, and that's it. We need to start educating ourselves on what the human is. The human is a multidimensional organism that has the capacity of accessing multiple aspects of their own consciousness. This can be highly, highly advanced intelligence, or it can be, even like a rock, okay? Let's say the consciousness of a rock. We have the ability of accessing many ranges of our own intelligence and our own consciousness. And all of that is within us. So once you truly understand what that means, it doesn't matter what you believe you are experiencing. Okay? As infinite consciousness, you are experiencing the dark and the light. And that's why you're here. You're on this planet Earth in a very physical, very sensory body, experiencing things through the sensory body for a reason. Okay? And one of those most important things is the emotions. So the first things that begin to cause us pain are the emotions because we begin to feel helpless. We begin to feel that we have been hurt, that we have been violated. There has been so much destruction. And all of those things can be true from the perspective that we are humans and we own these bodies and we live our lives, and this was a violation and they didn't tell us. But there's more to this. You know, if you're going to talk about abduction or interaction of extraterrestrial races with the human race, this has been happening since the origin of seeding of life on this planet. So we are not the first to be experiencing such a thing, which means that this temporary human body, it's ours right now, but we belong to a much larger, bigger picture. Okay, so we need to start looking at things like that, because that's kind of coming into a bigger picture of the truth. When you start looking at that, you can move away from the victim mentality of, you know, oh, this happened. Now, once we understand that, you can begin to change many things in your life. You can begin to heal. You can begin to move out of the victim mode. You can begin to transform and become into a state of creator, the creator self, which is what all of these spiritual practices in the world are trying to train us to do. But it takes a lot of bravery. It takes a lot of commitment and understanding and education of that. So, you know, that's what I'm here today, is to help remind you that you are never a victim, regardless of what's happening in this physical body.
I understand that. And trust me, what you're saying makes complete sense. Okay? It makes complete sense because on an etherical thought process or thought basis, we have no control of the destiny that we signed before we got here. That's what you're saying. But on a human level, this is where a lot of people cannot understand that or comprehend it. How do we bridge that comprehension?
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, I want to be very clear. I'm not saying that we don't have the ability to control what we agree to. The opposite, actually. I'm saying that you do have the ability to control what you're experiencing, because, and that's where the integration comes from. When you begin to heal yourself, and healing means becoming aware. When I say healing, I'm saying you become aware of who you are as a human. And when you become aware of who you are as a human, you're a multidimensional being. You understand that you are triggered by certain things that have caused you fears and traumas. And if you address those fears and traumas, they no longer will trigger you. They no longer will cause you pain. Just the way that when somebody gets bullied at school, for example, they address that feeling of being helpless. They understand that they are empowered. They can transform that pain, that suffering from themselves as a child, and process it. They now become empowered. They realize that they do have the ability of protecting themselves, and they begin to take measures to do that. So whether it's, you know, they're going to learn to respect themselves more, or protect themselves, or ask for help when they need it. There's so many different tools that one can help themselves with. But before you get those tools, you have to know what the problem is. So, for example, in these cases, we feel absolutely helpless. We feel overwhelmed. We're like, okay, they come, they take us without our knowledge. They paralyze the body, they pull us out of our bedrooms, and they do whatever they want. And then they come and they leave us, okay? So now we feel completely traumatized and helpless. But again, you have to ask the questions. These experiences that we come into, we must understand that on some level we have agreed to these experiences. It goes beyond the human storyline of being Geraldine in this body, that was an event planner, for example. Or it goes beyond that. These are agreements that transcend the human form. And I know it's hard to comprehend that, but how do you integrate that? You understand that this is a trauma like any other that must be addressed, and what needs to be addressed is the lack of understanding of the bigger picture. So we have to educate ourselves. We have to take time to equip ourselves with tools. we do have the ability of protecting ourselves. We have the ability of transforming our vibrational frequency so that we're no longer in alignment with those experiences. Number one. Number two, you have the ability of learning tools to protect yourself and breaking the contracts with these beings as well. Because when I say contracts, these are the agreements that we made with ourselves to experience this kind of interdimensional experience. We create our reality.
Right.
Go ahead.
We have a question coming from the SOR Space Travelers Club on our website from Frequency Girl. And she is asking, in regards to hypnotherapy, can you lie to yourself under hypno?
Mm-hmm. That's a very good question, because hypnotherapy is addressing the subconscious mind. However, what tends to happen is that you are kind of going through this such a deep state of your mind that you are accessing all parts of yourself. All parts of yourself, they are available to you. So your perceptions are what are going to pull up information. There's a separation between the analytical mind and the subconscious mind in a state of hypnosis. So, the part of you that wants to lie about things is not going to come up. It's not accessible at that moment. You are, and actually, the controversy is that the mind is, there's no way to control where the mind goes. But the mind is becoming an explorer in itself, and it's accessing many aspects of the mind when it goes into hypnosis. And what I tend to see, and even in my own personal experience being under hypnosis, I mean, I've done 12 sessions now, and in these sessions, and that's not a lot, there's people that do hundreds, by the way, it is very difficult to limit or to control the analytical mind when you're there. It's completely disconnected from the analytical mind. I cannot say, oh, this feels wrong, or oh, this sounds wrong. And if that voice does come up, it's extremely far away. It's far away in the back. So what is happening is information that's coming in clear from your body, from your organism. So you tend to be more truthful in hypnotherapy than you ever are, because you access parts of you, memories of you, that you have not accessed before. And the thing is that there are also, just really quickly, I want to say that there are layers to that information. And the more the person is willing to open those layers, the filters of fear, it'll get down to the root cause of whatever the trauma is. Because some people will create an outer shell of a memory and then an inner shell of a memory. And you want to reach the inner shell, and that's what hypnosis is good at doing.
The inner shell. I don't know what that is, but it sounds very, very fragile.
Well, I mean the original memory in its truth from your perspective is what I mean.
Gotcha. Well, you know what? That's probably a good place for us to sit back and go into some deep thought during the break, because when we come back, Geraldine, I want to get your thoughts. Do you know what today is? I'm going to throw it out there. We'll tease it.
No, what is today?
The 44th anniversary of Travis Walton being taken today. More Spaced Out Radio with Geraldine Orozco and the Spiritual You coming up. At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune into SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother Is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother Is Watching.
Hey, Spaced Out Radio fans! It's John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. Our goal is to make the life of veterans, first responders, and those with rare medical conditions 10% happier. We do this by donating one grant item, ranging from dance to therapy programs to prosthetic limbs, to those who need it most. To contribute to Spaced Out Radio's official charity, head over to chivecharities.org and become a donor today.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESSA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Hi there, this is Geraldine Orozco from San Francisco's Bay Area Meditation. I invite you to join me the first Tuesday of every month with Dave Scott for Spaced Out Radio's The Spiritual You. In this fast-paced world we live in, it's time for you to take some time for you. We'll cover every possible subject from powerful meditation to healing techniques to your own intuition and spirituality. So come join us for The Spiritual You.
Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Thiemer. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hey, this is Canadian Paranormal Investigator Mike Moore. The third Wednesday of every month, I'll be teaming up with Dave Scott to bring you Ghosts of the Great White North. Each month, we will bring on guests from across Canada to discuss their ghostly encounters. Canada is a paranormal hotbed with stories you've never heard, so we're going to bring them to you. So get comfy on your Chesterfield, grab a donut, and join us, eh?
Come hang out with Spaced Out Radio, where we own the night. This is Carl. You can follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and during the show, use the hashtag Spaced Out Radio to chat with us live. On Instagram, at Dave Scott SOR. On Facebook, give our page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. SOR archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. Come join us, or I will come join you. See you at your window.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. We say hello to everyone listening in on KDUN, AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon, WQEE 99.1 FM in Noonan, Georgia, UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans, in Dangerfield, Texas, KDNF, AM 1560, and down in Ridgecrest, California, where Chuck has a very tight goatee, KZFX 93.7 FM. On the digital side, hi to Bardell and everyone listening in on Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Arctogale. I think so. Arctogale? Is that it? Well, the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, shop at the SOR Vault. You can read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. What else can we do? Oh, yeah. You could join the chat, just like the Pen Man just did, in the SOR Space Travelers Club on our website for $5 a month. Geraldine Orozco is here. She comes in the first Tuesday of every month for the Spiritual You. She has a couple of websites you want to check out, GeraldineOrozco.com, as well as BayAreaMeditation.com. And her next appearance will be on December 3rd. Geraldine, always a pleasure to have you here.
Always a pleasure to be here.
And we have you here and on a very, very interesting anniversary, because it was 44 years ago tonight, Travis Walton was taken in the famous case, and he was gone for 5 days. 5 days. Could you imagine disappearing for 5 days and people thinking that all your friends killed you? And they're going through hell on this side. In the meantime, you're on a spaceship trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And is this a nightmare? Is this just real? Or is this just fantasy? You know? Weird.
Yep. That's
5
incredible.
years. What would you do if you were stuck on a spaceship for 5 days?
My initial reaction is that I'd probably be really happy to be up there. Like, please take me. I think I'd be very happy. But no, I think it's a very interesting the thing. I mean, it wasn't even like missing time. Was it like missing time? I mean, did he recall? Was time accelerated while he was on craft, or was it like actual 5 days that he was on there? How do you know the details of that?
Well, he was there for 5 days, not sure what was going on. When he woke up, he was trying to figure it out, saw some beings, tried to punch a couple of them, and they knocked him back out and eventually took him back, and they dropped him off at a telephone booth, naked. Actually, he was clothed. Wow. He was clothed, not naked. Not like the movie Fire in the Sky. But I've often wondered about that. What would I do if that happened? Because I have put it out to the I have put it out to the universe. Okay? I have put it out there as I stare at this beautiful UFO picture by young Chloe, who made this for me in Scotland. And then sent it to me.
Yes, young Chloe.
Isn't that awesome?
That's an amazing picture. Yeah, you guys have to check that out on social media. Go to Dave's Instagram and Facebook and check that out. It's so beautiful.
Yes. Yeah, and you made a beautiful little collage about that, too. Thank you for that. I really do appreciate that.
I have to. How sweet is it? And she's so young. How old is she again? She's like 10 years old?
9. She's 9.
9.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So I'm going to be
She listens to your show every morning.
Every morning or after school. So one of the two. And so I'm staring at this beautiful UFO that she painted me right now. And anyways, I'm thinking, what would I do? But here I have put it out to the universe that I've wanted this to happen. I don't want to be taken. Okay, you know, when you're at night, you're in your dream state, because you never know if that's real or not. Because a lot of my experiences that I have had, I've been fortunate where I've been wide awake, whether it's Carl at the window or whether it's my ET sighting with Samantha Mowat or the landing or whatever. I've been very awake and conscious. So I've been putting this out to the universe. Like, come on, boys and girls. I'm ready. Let's do this. Yet they don't come. They don't show up. And I feel I deserve this. You know, many people who have experienced things like this, they feel they deserve this. Like, come on, give me what I need. Yet it doesn't happen. Why do you think it doesn't happen for those of us who are putting it out to the universe that we want this to happen?
You know, Dave, this is something that I'm actually studying myself, trying to understand how ET contact happens. And I've really kind of mulled over these ideas. I mean, there's two perspectives. It tends to see that the more conscious the experience is, a lot of times these contact experiences aren't always negative. They're actually positive when you remember them. I mean, my memorable conscious experience was not negative. I mean, it was a wonderful, beautiful experience. You know, and I think that also there's a certain level of consciousness and vibration that a certain person enters in order to be, you know, available. I think it's a frequency that we put out as humans to connect with these interdimensional beings. So, I don't know, it's very interesting. I mean, a lot of the things that we don't remember that are in the past, I think sometimes our perception perceives them as negative, like we were saying again, because it's something that's so unknown, so weird, so strange. I mean, if we wake up and we feel ourselves on some cold table and some, you know, injections being put in our arm, we're going to think that's a terrible thing because they didn't ask for our permission and so on and so forth. But you know, we don't know, like, what if their intentions are positive? What if they're just checking up or just learning from you or maybe even healing you? There have been, if you look at some of Preston Dennett's work, if you guys don't know him, he's such a sweet, sweet man who does incredible research on healing abductions, people that have been abducted and healed. You know, that is also a very real thing. So I think it has a lot to do with your frequency, with your belief system, with your perceptions. And whether you're ready to experience it. I mean, I haven't had a conscious abduction since my abduction. Since then, I've had many other things occur. And I think it depends on what you're willing to experience. But I also want to mention that there are a lot of groups. In South America, in Bolivia, as a matter of fact, there's a group where they gather 400 people, up to 1,000 people gather in Tiwanaku in Bolivia or in Cusco, and they summon contact, and they have the most incredible experiences. And they're all conscious, they all remember, they all talk about it. And there's many groups around the world that are doing this. They are connecting with interdimensional experiences. I think it has a lot to do with your vibrational frequency, with what you're ready to experience, with your intention. Is your intent to connect solely from an ego or self-serving perspective, or is it coming from, this a very clear, open, want to experience that, or maybe you're ready to, evolve or transcend or connect to some higher conscious beings? Because a lot of these experiences, they result in the activation of abilities. I mean, a lot of abduction experiences end up with people with heightened experiences, psychic abilities. They have healings, stuff like that. So I don't know. I think that each person is different, but it seems to me, the patterns that I've kind of been reviewing, that people that reach a certain level of frequency are more open to these kinds of contacts than others. And I can even say that for my own self. I've experienced that. I don't know.
Got a question coming from Twitter from John at #SpacedOutRadio. He says, when I was 6, I was in the backseat of a car at night and saw a bright flash, essentially like, and he posts a drawing on there, it almost looks like a star behind some trees.
Wow.
Oh, my dog is in here dreaming, so if you hear him in the background, he's dreaming. Anyways, John's story says, it was so big and so close, I expected to hear an explosion. It lasted about 2 seconds. Now, is this 1 minute period of time worth a regression?
I actually would say yes. And I'll tell you, I had a similar experience. And this is really great that you brought that up, John, because when I was 5 years old, one of the things that, after I had my vivid experience in 2013, I was thinking, God, where do these hybrid children come from? How could I have not remembered when they took me other times, or did it happen multiple times? And I would look back and meditate back to memories of my childhood. And there was one memory that I could never get out of my brain. And it was a memory of myself at 5 years old when I was sitting in my parents' bedroom looking outside the window. And there was an incredibly brilliant light coming through the rails of the balcony. And it was such a vivid memory of just that shining bright light that I always remember. I was thinking, why can I never forget that memory? And when I went into regression, that was actually my first abduction. It was, I was sitting in the bedroom and I had missing time there. I had experienced missing time in that experience. So this could very well be one of those experiences from you. And look what happened. It opened up a life of experiences. So, if you really feel that you need to know whether you have been taken in, there's other things in your life, like other memories, other dreams, things that are occurring in your life that you feel are connected with contact, I strongly suggest getting that if you're ready to look at that information.
Yeah, I would say so, too. There's my 2 cents on that. I would say so, too. All right, let's move on here, because when it comes to ET contact, many of us are wondering, why us? Why does it happen to us? Why has this unbelievable experience happened to me where it's not happening to my friends or anybody like that? People start to really have self-doubt in themselves after contact is made, because the experience is so real to them. They can maybe even have some recall on it, but they don't know where to turn, who to talk to. They try their friends, maybe get laughed at, their parents, their ministers, their church, their coworkers, their slow-pitch teammates, or whomever. Doesn't matter. And they don't know where to turn, and this puts people into a depression or makes them anxious or makes them very introverted all of a sudden. How do we cope and comprehend with the mental aspect of being taken or having some sort of contact?
Yeah, that's a really awesome question. I think the first thing that we need to do is reach out and try to find some support groups. That was the thing that had the most impact. And what tends to have most impact for people that I work with as well is that, they need to hear it from someone else that they have also experienced something similar. It just helps you know, number one, that you're not crazy, know that you're not alone, know that you're not making it up. Because a lot of these experiences can be so incredibly impressive and they cause trauma, they cause an impact in us that we're incapable of integrating what happens. I mean, a lot of us are having tremendous paradigm shifts where we never used to believe in ETs or aliens, and now we have an experience like this, and our whole entire belief system is questioned. So, there's many levels of awareness that have to happen. First of all, it's our integration with ET contact in how we're going to accept that in our society, in our religion, in our culture, in our own families, and even our partnerships. There's a lot that has to be kind of reintegrated, newly reintegrated. So it helps to find a group of people that you can talk to and relate to. And that would be the first step. I would originally say to educate yourself and to go read up on it. But I've personally found, and also working with people, I realized that it does help, but it doesn't give the amount of nurturing and support that a person needs for such an impactful experience. I mean, there are some books that I highly suggest that you read about other contactees' experience, such as Travis Walton, for example. You can read about his story, learn about how he coped and how he worked with it as well. And there are many books out there that help, give some light on the extraterrestrial contact experience. But there will be nothing compared to being able to share your story and process it that way. It really helps to hear yourself even say the story, because a lot of this becomes so isolating that we feel we can't even talk to our partner or our friends or our families. So it's important to immediately try to find a group that you can connect with. It's not good to feel depressed and overwhelmed. We become depressed and overwhelmed because we become helpless. We feel and we believe that we are helpless. And, that's not true. We're absolutely not true. It's not an isolated situation. There are hundreds of people that experience this. And it really helps to connect with other people that have experienced the same thing. And then the third thing is to reach out for maybe further therapy based on whether you have, whether you've read or spoke to someone about your experience and you've kind of been able to slowly integrate that trauma or that impact of the experience. Then you begin to question your belief systems and all these things that we talked about. So you probably want to go deeper. And so for that, I would suggest therapy, either hypnotherapy to get a regression, to kind of really understand what your experience was about, to help you answer questions, to help you understand the situation better, and from that perspective, integrate from there as well. And that should also help you answer how to deal with friends and family. I mean, it's important for you to be very truthful with yourself and with others, and to be able to be open and not feel that you have to limit that information. We talked about this on a previous episode, actually, how to really integrate that. But it's important, and it's also time for a lot of experiencers to kind of step up to the plate and share this information openly, but only if you feel safe and supported. So find that support group, find the friends and the groups that you need to help support and get you to that place.
Okay, let me ask you this, and do you feel too many people who have had these experiences are holding it in a little too much instead of taking that extra step?
I really do. I do, but I don't blame them. I understand how difficult it is to come out with this information. And Dave, that's really why I've literally completely put my life, my personal life aside to focus on this, because it's so important, Dave. There are hundreds of people out there. I mean, even this last week I got, 55 messages of people that have had experiences that don't know where to go or who to talk to about it. So there are more and more people that are wanting to talk about this. I mean, look at Yvonne Smith and her lifelong experience as a hypnotherapist and the hundreds of cases that she's dealt with. Misha Johnston, Barbara Lamb. They're out there, they just don't know who to talk to. So the more, and we're still having a hard time talking about it. So we're definitely in the need of being brave. Like everything else, we have to come out of the experiencer closet and share the experience so that it no longer becomes something that is taboo or ridiculous or a joke. Like everything else, it takes a couple strong people to stand up to the plate and hold space for that. So if you feel, but again, as I mentioned in the last show, we got to prepare ourselves. We have to educate ourselves. We have to understand what's happening, and that takes a little work. You got to do the inner work. You have to support yourself. You have to have a strong support system. Know that you're not helpless, know that you're not alone, and then step out and offer this information to others. It's not something that you're going to go out blurting, but it's something that you can share for those that are ready, ready to listen. And it helps. It plants a seed in their mind to be open to this possibility, which is not just your personal experience. We're talking about shifting an entire paradigm of belief in our world around us, okay? The concept of ETs, the concept of extraterrestrial existence, of the life of that, is something that is taboo for many reasons. It would have to rewrite our entire historical timeline. It would have to question religions. It would have to question many things. So, we have to start somewhere, and it has to start with those experiencers. And so you guys come out with your stories of what you're experiencing, then we can slowly begin by diving deeper. And another thing I want to say, that each one of you that has an experience is like a valuable, incredibly valuable puzzle piece to a larger picture, because you will be surprised. When I connected with people in a hybrid group, I even recognized someone that I saw on a craft, okay?
Really?
At the group here in the Bay Area. Yes. When I saw them, and they knew it too, they saw me and they're like, okay, well, yes, there's something there. And that blew my mind. It seemed impossible to me. But as you can see, you are connecting with these people and learning about it. And he gave me a piece of his experience, which helped me understand my experience. And you piece together an understanding on technology, of how these are being carried out, how the processes are, and education. Knowledge is power. When we understand and we learn, we educate ourselves, it kind of pulls us away from fear, because we're now understanding what's occurring. So there's a lot of value and a lot of power in learning and sharing with each other these experiences.
We have about 45 seconds before we got to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Geraldine, in regards to that, a lot of people aren't that mentally strong. Society is a rough area, especially when you include social media now.
Yeah. It is. It really is. But the thing is that's why I focus on the inner work first, okay? Because at the end of the day, what matters is your well-being, your integration, your own healing. These experiences, they're not for other people. They are for you, for your own personal evolution. But they are a part of a collective consciousness, okay? And so when we, have these kinds of experiences, you need to be able to understand and integrate in yourself, what's happening to you, why you've experienced something like that. That's
wonderful. I'm going to get you to hold on right there, Geraldine, because we're going to go to break at the bottom of the hour. Geraldine Orozco's The Spiritual You continues right after this on Spaced Out Radio.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Looking for something new to push your limits? Look Beyond the Spectrum, a new docuseries featuring some of the best researchers in the world when it comes to everything from UFOs, government cover-ups, and Bigfoot in the forest. Truth seekers like Steve Bassett, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, Richard Dolan, as well as others all chip in to bring their knowledge to you. Beyond the Spectrum can be found on Amazon as well as Tubi TV. Tell us what you think on our Amazon page.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Finish off your weekend and kick off your new week with me, Everett Themer, right here on Spaced Out Sundays. I'm going to bring you great guests, a little bit of snark, and plenty of information to think about. But don't worry, there's going to be plenty of woo as well. We are going to hit everything in the paranormal and supernatural, including the odd psychic Sundays. So tune us in on Sunday, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
Every night on Space Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
we're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio. We pass the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Good to have each and every one of you with us. Now, we only have Geraldine Orozco for the next 30 minutes, so I want to quickly remind you that you can find all of our archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. You can shop at the SOR Vault. Get yourself a t-shirt and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of cool there. You can also sign up for the SOR Space Travelers Club. A huge chat going on in there tonight. Hi, everybody in the chat room. We got Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire, which is updated daily. Rock out to Bumblefoot. And if you like a good collection of paranormal books, go over to We Read the Night. We got a great book section in there for you as well. Like I said, Geraldine Orozco is with us until the top of the hour with the Spiritual You. She's just not feeling very good tonight, but she's battling for 2 full hours, which is absolutely awesome. She is a trooper. Her website, GeraldineOrozco.com or BayAreaMeditation.com. Geraldine, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You know what the best part about this is? I always bug Geraldine about her awesome shoe collection. So every time I bring her on the air, I ask her, "Which you have some of your best shoes on tonight?" And she actually wears her shoes during the interview, even though there is no camera, there is no nothing. I think that is amazing. I really do think that's amazing, by the way.
Oh, thank you, Dave. It's commitment to the cause. Remember, just the way you fixed your hair for me tonight. Come on.
Oh, yeah, I pulled it back. I slicked it back. I mean, never mind my Perry the Platypus pajamas I have on right now. But, you know.
Love that.
It is all good. It is all very, very good. Geraldine, while we only have you until the top of the hour, we're going to try and get more audience questions in for you and, you know, whatever else we can drain out of that tired brain of yours for tonight. Let's start off with a question from the SOR Space Travelers Club here from Will. He is asking, which videos do you recommend on YouTube to try and regress?
To try and regress? That's a really good question. And I can't say that I have anything to offer you that I've studied enough to give you a good advice, my love. I'm so sorry. But let me think. I really can't say anything off the top of my head. I mean, to actually take yourself back, I don't know. I mean, on my channel, I do have a lot of meditations that you can check out, and they do take you pretty deep. So I'm happy to recommend those. And I do have some exercises that will help you identify past life experiences, and also that will help you identify any kind of entities, attachments, cords, and also breaking of contractual agreements, whether they're terrestrial or extraterrestrial. So I do have that on my channel, but I don't have any other suggestion.
All right. Perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
Sorry,
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's all good. It is all very, very good. All right.
Yeah, I'd never want to suggest something that I haven't thoroughly reviewed. So yeah. But anyway.
Well, nonetheless, Do you wish for contact to happen?
I do not. I do not. I really believe that my contractual agreements are currently functioning, and all of the things that have happened recently are necessary for my growth, for my evolution. And I am basically a student of this human body. So if the human body needs to experience more contact, it'll happen organically, and I will use that to learn about it and to share the experience. But I don't wish for it to happen, no.
I got to say, I'm a little surprised by that answer.
Really? Yeah.
Really? Because you are so brave and you have dealt with so much. I thought you would almost want more contact to try and figure out from that zone on a conscious abduction or a conscious contact where they take you. I thought you would want that to try and figure out what your mission is from their point of view.
I think I kind of understand my mission now. I think I'm pretty clear on that. But the thing is that I have so much still to study, even on myself, Dave. I mean, I've only been able to revisit 8 separate actual reliving abduction experiences, but there's more. I mean, keep in mind, I have 24 hybrid children, so there are many other experiences that I haven't even touched yet. So if anything, I would probably want to get regressed to revisit and learn more about those past experiences. As a lifelong abductee, I think I've experienced enough to learn, what I need from that. But more experiences, no, it's not something I necessarily wish for. No, and I think that's because I kind of understand my contractual agreement with why they're using me in the hybridization program, why the terrestrials are using me. I understand now. I think once you understand that, then maybe you don't feel like you need more. But that's just me. Yeah.
So would you want it to all go away if you never got taken again? Would you want it to just disappear?
The experience? No, not at all. Not at all. No, I would never. I mean, we can't be in denial of our truths. I mean, this is my truth. I'm here. I am, an expression of this kind of contact for a reason. If I was able to open up these experiences for a reason, it's because I have work to do with them here on this planet and to share with those that are also going through the same thing. To me, this is one of the biggest honors and gifts, and I'm, happy to share what I have until now. So absolutely not. It's just amazing.
Normally, I'm not at a loss of questions, but I'm still kind of blown away that you wouldn't want more contact. Do you, deep down? So let me ask you this: deep down, do you have a fear of it happening again?
No, not at all. Not at all. You see, Dave, well, it's because of the way that I have understood our relationship with extraterrestrials. You see, I just feel like we are one organism. They are a projection of us. We are a projection of them. We are both co-creating our reality and sharing this existence together. So, on the highest level, what is occurring is an exchange of consciousness. They are learning from us. We're learning from them. So when you look at it from that perspective, it's not something that we need to live through consciously to know that it's there. I don't need that anymore. I know very clearly that it's there. I know why they're doing what they're doing, and I know why they continue to do it. There's many factors. It's not just extraterrestrials, it's terrestrials. And for me, the important factor is to learn about creating more supportive evidence as to why humans are so valuable, why our conscious awareness of ourselves as humans is so valuable. That's my job. My job is to find more supportive evidence for that. And I'm not going to find it through additional contact experiences. I'm going to find it through digging at my own past, questioning our existence, our reality. And that's kind of what I'm here to do. So from that perspective, I don't need to experience it, for my own personal self. I think I've done that already.
All right. So what is it about yourself then that you need to learn? Which path do you need to go down?
Well, me, for example, it's the link between the spiritual and the interdimensional, ET contact and the spiritual. My job is to link those two and provide as much supportive evidence so that, on others' journey, your journey, listeners' journey, they can find their connection. They can find themselves between those two things. That's my job. And I understand that very clearly as my mission, as my purpose here, because of the way that my life has unfolded. From a conscious experience to complete paradigm shift, to complete surrendering and becoming of service, and the fact that I can see the multidimensional body and work with the multidimensional body. I mean, every day is the most valuable gift when I work with my clients and I learn how they become aware of their bodies and remove entities or deal with their abduction experiences. I mean, that is valuable to me because it's consciousness becoming aware of itself. That is what makes me tick, when I see consciousness becoming aware of itself. If you have that aha moment, that is really the thing that gives me purpose, and it doesn't mean, and we have to know that our reality is beyond the physical. We're in multidimensional, so we have to see beyond this planet. We have to see extraterrestrial life. We have to know that it's there and learn why it's there and why we're here. That's the main question that I have.
So what if we're just lucid dreaming these experiences?
We could very well be. We could very well be, my love, and that's the thing. That's why. I mean, it's not so much about lucid dreaming them. I mean, it's consciousness. Consciousness can project anything into reality. Our belief is what will create meaning. It'll put meaning. Our belief system will place meaning where, it has to based on its belief systems. So, and even for them, even extraterrestrials, they could very well be projecting into reality certain things. The fact is that consciousness is such an uncharted territory for us. We are babies in the technology and learning about ourselves as humans and the mind. We're infants. We're barely learning how to understand what we are. So, there's a lot of work to be done. And the work starts with each and every one of us. Each and every one of us has to go inside and answer those questions for ourselves. I'm a very huge advocate for that. That's the number one thing.
I understand that. I guess that makes sense to me. We got Geraldine Orozco here on Spaced Out Radio for the Spiritual You. Geraldine, in regards to the memories that people have of this, could they have been implanted to cover up more dark secrets?
To cover up more dark secrets? Yes, very much. And that is a technology that they utilize, which is called screening, which goes back to that question that someone asked about whether we can lie in regression, which of course, based on our belief system, we can fabricate any number of things, but if you can go deeper beyond those screens, again, if the person is willing to, you will and you can. And one of the technologies that extraterrestrials utilize is a lot of screening. So, for example, they can make you think that you're seeing a beautiful angel or this heavenly being, but in reality, it could be a draconian consciousness that's manipulating your what you're seeing. So, this is also very interesting. It's something that we have to learn about. And so, the more we learn about how the mind works and also where our actual projection tools originate from, which is subconscious mind, and what fuels the subconscious mind, that's going to help us understand better, how these experiences come about.
It's a very, very tough scenario when it comes down to it because we want to believe that this is happening. We want to believe that these experiences are happening, but the reality of it is we just don't know. So if we're assuming these abductions or these hybridization programs are real, rather than factually knowing, how do we put so much energy into the idea that it may be true?
Well, here's the thing. The question of whether we are imagining these things or projecting or hallucinating these things, we're talking about the function of the mind. The mind is very complex. However, if you believe that it's happening, it's going to affect the body because, again, we're multidimensional beings. There's many faculties that are running this system. So, for example, in the hybridization program, we are taken, we are implanted, we do have the miscarriages, live miscarriages in our lives. You know, we go through the whole emotional process, and all of these things are real. They are factual. They are occurring in our bodies. But there's many layers to this consciousness, where what I'm questioning is this entire human existence is what we're questioning, and how we are projecting these experiences into our reality. So, because, you know, we seem to look at things, we want to look at it very black and white. This is real, what I see in front of me. I see this book in front of me, this table in front of me. Okay, that's one thing. But what's beyond that? If you microscopically look at the very cellular level or the molecular level of what's in front of me, these are little molecules that are oscillating to create this table, for example. So, you know, there's many layers to reality. And so just like that analogy, the mind also functions that way. You know, there's layers of creation, of projection. We have one reality that we're accessing in dream time, another one when we're astral traveling, like we were talking, another one when we are, having these interdimensional contacts, experiences. So the body is capable of moving through multiple dimensional realities. And that's something that we're just learning about ourselves. That's what complicates the experiences of our reality. But it's uncharted territory. I mean, we're all learning this together as we go. We're understanding what that means for each and every one of us.
Does that mean then that you really have to trust your inner self and what it experiences?
Exactly, Dave. And that's what it comes down to. Basically, all the information of the universe and how it functions is within you, because when you understand how you function, how you work, just like what happened to me, when I went into regression, I was able to see the historical timeline, and I didn't even know that that was true until I came out of regression and started to research, okay? Then you look at the structure of the universe. I went back into regression. I was shown how the structure of the universe functions. I didn't even know that existed until I went back and started to do research about other people's, physics, the astrophysics and the biology of the human body. And then you start to learn that these things are, all that information we already know. It's encoded like an algorithm within our DNA. It's within us. And so this is how the collective consciousness begins to communicate with its environment. We pick up the information. It is stored within us since the origin of our creation, and, we are projecting from that place. So, all our belief systems, all the things that we preoccupy with on our everyday life, these are just, they're storylines. We have to understand that. There's a much deeper function behind that actually runs these shows, runs the family, runs the society, runs our culture, runs the world. We have to learn what those are. And the way that we learn them is by going inside and understanding ourselves. We connect with ourselves. We understand how we function, why we feel certain ways, what things are triggering us, where our fears come from. And you got to take it all the way back. You got to take it back to the root. Where did the original program? It came from your mother. Then it came from, church. Then it came from, this societal belief system of control, and so on and so forth. You begin to question how things come to be, and you understand how the world around you is structured and created. So that's the work that is needed. That's how we find ourselves. That's how we understand the world that we live in, and even more, beyond. The natural laws of creation of the universe are based in nature. We are nature. We are natural organisms. If you look at nature, it functions so perfectly, so elegantly. And, when we learn nature, we learn about the function of other things. So There's so much beauty to the human body, and the more that we heal ourselves, that we go inside and connect with ourselves, we're going to learn about the universe. That's the magic.
Can we stop it? Is there a way for us to be able to say that if we're being taken or we're having these ultimate experiences that we could just say, stop, I don't want to do this anymore. This is not fun. This is not kosher. I didn't sign up for this. And if I did, I don't agree with it. Therefore, I'm breaking the contract. Go to hell. Whatever. Can we just stop it? Yes, you can. But the belief has to be completely encoded in every cell of your body. If there's one part of you that doesn't believe that you have the ability of stopping that, you will not, because you are projecting and creating your reality. That's how powerful we are, Dave. That's how powerful we are. I mean, if we have a contractual agreement that you need to experience this for some reason, and you're not aware of that, you're going to live through those experiences, whether you think you like it or you don't like it, Yeah. Right. No, I get that. We only have about 2.5 minutes left with you tonight. And this is a show that has flown on by. And thank you for being a real trooper. I know you're not feeling well tonight and you're tired, and but you got nice shoes on. That's the main thing. I'm curious. What are you up to in the next little bit here? Because you're always on the road doing something.
Yeah, thanks for asking. There's a couple really exciting things coming up. January 24th, 25th, and 26th, I'm going to be in Big Bear Lake, California at Alien Snowfest. So definitely buy your tickets, and I'd love to see you there. I'll also be at the Human Origins Conference, which I'm really excited about, April 2nd to the 5th, 2020 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So very excited about that. And I'll be speaking locally here at the East and West Bookstore on January 10th. That's more recent. And I have a workshop lined up January 11th, which is going to be amazing. We're going to be dissecting the algorithm of nature and our DNA to understand our ancestral lineages. Also, another really exciting thing is I will be, February 3rd, I'm going to be showing, February 3rd, I'm doing the exact same talk in Spanish at the East-West Bookstore. So if you're a Spanish speaker here in the Bay Area, come and meet me. I can't wait to meet you. We're also going to be showing Extraordinary Deceding Wednesday, March 11th. And I'm going to do a live Q&A with special guests. So any experiences in the San Francisco Bay Area that are looking for support, come and check it out. Also check out my hybrid parent support group. We meet once a month. And DNA reprogramming, you can check out my website. I'm always here to assist.
Don't forget, a special dinner with Dave and Geraldine at UFOCon 2020 in San Francisco, California, February 20th through 23rd.
That's right, Dave. You're coming out here. So if you guys are here in the Bay Area, we'd love to meet you. Wouldn't that be fun to have a little meet up? That'd be really fun. Yeah.
That would be great. If it's in the same hotel as last year, we could get a big table, and we can sit around and talk stories and have dinner, and you can hang out and get Geraldine's autograph and get a photo with her. I'll put a paper bag over my head because she makes me look extremely unattractive. But Geraldine, I want to say thank you, my beautiful friend, for coming on Spaced Out Radio again tonight for the Spiritual You. We got one more time to talk to you in 2019, and that'll be on December 3rd. And I look forward to it, my beautiful friend.
I can't wait. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing all of you guys then, too. All my love. Good night.
Good night. All right. Hour 3 of Spaced Out Radio coming up next. Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose, Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at mightymoosebeard.com today.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio, you can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Themer. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Welcome back to the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to give a shout out to everybody listening in on KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California. Down in Union, Georgia, WQEE 99.1 FM, KDUN AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon. We're on UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans and KDNF AM 1560 in Dangerfield, Texas. We want to remind everybody we're also digitally on Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. We love broadcasting there. Don't forget, you can check out all of our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Arctogale. Arctogale is your password. Don't know if I pronounced it correctly, but the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. You can rock out to Bumblefoot, do a little shopping at the SOR Vault because you'd look good in one of our t-shirts, hoodies, maybe grab a pillow, a button, whatever. We got lots of stuff there. And we read the night. If you're looking for a good book, we got some great authors that we believe in that are doing great work. Head on over to We Read the Night. You can buy the book right there. And, of course, join the SOR Space Travelers Club. It's just $5 a month. We got a great chat going on in there. Let's give a shout-out to everybody in there, shall we? Let's do it. We got Frequency Girl, Christoph, Lisa. We got Penman, Hatterack, Will. The Clam is in there as well. I know there was others earlier, like Sparky. Yeah. Thank you all for joining on in. I know there's a few more. But thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Normally, we'll get and continue right into the show. But tonight's a little special because in the bottom of the hour, we are going to be going live across Canada with my man Drex. Does a show out of Vancouver at CKNW. And we're going to be going live with him talking about UFOs. So we're going to simulcast it. He's going to be broadcasting Spaced Out Radio. We're going to be broadcasting his show. And it's going to be really cool. So what we're doing is we're going to get to the news now. And, you know, Captain Shirk does a fantastic job putting the news together. She does it twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. Keeping the news fresh, new, joyous. So what we're doing here, because we got a busy back end of this hour, we're going to do the news right now. The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire, usually at the back end of every show, but the top part of this hour now, just for today. It'll all be back together and back to normal tomorrow. We're going to start off with a story that, you know, I have debated touching this story for a long time because there are certain topics I do not want to talk about on this show. I don't want to talk politics. I don't want to talk, you know, a lot of the dirty conspiracies out there. I don't want to talk about this whole Jeffrey Epstein thing. However, I think tonight we have to get into Epstein. I really do. And I was talking to Captain Shirk before the show because there is some potentially very, very big news coming out of this story. It doesn't matter whether you believe Epstein killed himself or whether you think, you know, if you got your tinfoil on and you think he was murdered. Okay. There is a major, major story happening here that we need to talk about because as a member of the media and a former reporter, I'm a little disgusted that if this story is 100% true, we should all be concerned. We really should. Project Veritas released a video that was apparently leaked by an employee at ABC News where Good Morning America co-anchor Amy Robach claimed to have been talking to a producer during a commercial, but the mic was hot. And she was talking about how frustrated she was that the network refused to air an interview she did with one of Epstein's alleged victims more than 3 years ago. We're going to play this audio, okay? Because if you haven't heard it, it is damning. It is absolutely damning. And talking to Captain Shirk about this before the show, our news director here, we both decided that this was way too important not to run. Way too important. I'm going to let you play. I'm going to play the audio, and then there's a statement by Amy Robach as well that I'm going to read for you guys. But listen to this. This is just absolutely horrific. If it is 100% true, wow. Just this could blow the lid off a lot of the media if it doesn't get swept under the rug once again. Here we go. This is courtesy of Project Veritas.
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air. First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had her whole allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us a million different ways. We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate and Will that also quashed the story. And then Alan Dershowitz was also implicated in it because of the planes. She told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. She was in hiding for 12 years. We convinced her to come out. We convinced her to talk to us. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton. We had everything. I tried for 3 years to get it on, to no avail, and now it's all coming out, and it's like these new revelations, and I freaking had all of it. I'm so pissed right now. Like, every day I get more and more pissed because I'm just like, oh my God, what we had was unreal. Other women backing it up. Hey, yep, Brad Edwards, the attorney, 3 years ago, saying there will come a day when we will realize Jeffrey Epstein was the most prolific pedophile this country has ever known. I had it all 3 years ago.
So what do you think about that? What do you think about that? That is very, very horrific. The fact that a reporter was doing her job. Now, a reporter's job, I remember when I was in broadcasting school, a reporter's job is to be the eyes, the ears, the watchdog, the judge, and potentially the jury for politicians, for corporations, for the public to feel safe, to make sure the police were doing their job, the politicians were doing their job, the corporations weren't ripping people off. That's the job of the media. That's the job, is to be the voice and ask the questions that are supposed to be asked to protect the public. The media's job is to protect the public. That's what it comes down to. That's why the media is there. It's not supposed to be propagandist. It is not supposed to be bias. It is not supposed to be political, contrary to what you learn on Fox News, CNN, and up here in Canada, the CBC and the National Post. All right? It should not be that way at all. Should not be that way at all. And here we have this lady, Amy Robach, who wants to break this story. Now, in there, she mentions how upset she is about the idea that she had, how do we put this? That she was upset that she wasn't the one to break the story. Now, every reporter has an ego. We all want to break stories. Stories are hard to break. They very much are hard to break. All right? And when you hear something like that, where a proud media outlet like ABC is stifling its journalists because they're not going to get an interview with the royal family or political pressure, they are not doing their job. So, Amy Robach released a statement. I'm going to read this. As a journalist, as the Epstein story continued to unfold last summer, I was caught in a private moment of frustration. I was upset that an important interview I had conducted with Virginia Roberts didn't air because we could not obtain sufficient corroborating evidence to meet ABC's editorial standards about her allegations. My comments about Prince Andrew and her allegation that she had seen Bill Clinton on Epstein's private island were in reference to what Virginia Roberts said in that interview in 2015. I was referencing her allegations, not what ABC News had verified through our reporting. The interview itself, while I was disappointed it didn't air, didn't meet our standards. In the years since, no one ever told me or the team to stop reporting on Jeffrey Epstein, and we have continued to aggressively pursue this important story. Now there's the cover-up, oh my God, I'm going to lose my job over this. Guaranteed, that statement was written by somebody in human resources, or the news director, the editor, president of the company was probably there, because that tape got out. Now, Robach didn't have anything to do with that tape. But the public should be aware that the media screwed you over. Go watch the video. It's on Project Veritas. All right, go watch the video. You can tell she's being honest. You can tell that she didn't know the microphones were hot. All right? Because the minute the director on the floor says, we're clear, you just speak. You just talk. All right? Because you're on commercial or you've thrown to a report or something along those lines. That's how it goes. And you can sense the frustration in that. Listen to it again.
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air. First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had her whole allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us a million different ways. We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate and Will that also quashed the story. And then Alan Dershowitz was also implicated in it because of the planes. She told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. She was in hiding for 12 years. We convinced her to come out. We convinced her to talk to us. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton. We had everything. I tried for 3 years to get it on, to no avail, and now it's all coming out, and it's like these new revelations, and I freaking had all of it. I'm so pissed right now. Like, every day I get more and more pissed because I'm just like, oh my God, what we had was unreal. Other women backing it up. Hey, yep. Brad Edwards, the attorney, 3 years ago, saying there will come a day when we will realize Jeffrey Epstein was the most prolific pedophile this country has ever known. I had it all 3 years ago.
That is still damning to hear a second time. All right. Now I want you to know, this breaks the barriers of, especially in the United States, doesn't matter if you're a Republican, Libertarian, if you're a Democrat, this affects everybody. Everybody. Now, if the other media outlets were smart, they'd blow this up. They would absolutely blow this up. Watch for it. Watch to see if this story gets blown up or it disappears like it did with ABC. But the public should put the pressure, like all of you listening out there, should be putting the pressure on ABC for quashing that story. Because the statement that Robot gave, that we read out, is definitely one to try and keep her job. All right? Definitely one to try and keep her job. Because that's a lucrative position that she has. Nobody in that position wants to lose the job. All right? So, keep that in mind as you read the news forward. We're going to follow up on that to see where this goes. We're going to continue on with the news here. So get this. A young stray puppy believed to have been dropped from the sky and into the backyard of an Australian family's property was actually a rare purebred dingo, an endangered wild dog breed native to Down Under. The animal was discovered in the state of Victoria, around 200 miles northeast of Melbourne in August. Jane Guinea, who found the animal whimpering in her backyard, suspected the furry creature was a dog or a fox and was dropped on the ground by an eagle flying by. Guinea's family cared for the dog for a day before taking it to a veterinarian to be treated for injuries, where it was determined the dog was actually a dingo. He had the mark on his back from what is believed to be an eagle's claw, and there were no other puppies nearby, veterinarian Dr. Beck Day said. The resident hadn't heard any other dingoes calling, so he was just a lonely little soul sitting in the backyard. The animal's DNA was tested for confirmation of its breed, and while they awaited the results, the pup was taken to the Australian Dingo Foundation Sanctuary. The test determined the dingo is a purebred Victorian Highlands dingo. Well, that's a cute little thing. Really is a cute little thing. The dingo, which was since named Wandy, is fitting in nicely at the sanctuary, according to the foundation and its director, Lynn Watson. Wandy has a little playmate his same age because he has been born at the perfectly right time for dingoes in winter. He has tamed quite nicely, whilst he is wild and always will be. He has become quite happy here, and he likes the people that are caring for him. Oh, that's cute. Very, very cute. We got time for a couple more here. The ancient town of Oloron-Sainte-Marie is nestled in the southwest corner of France, just north of Spain. One of the town's prized landmarks is the 12th century cathedral, which was once a key stopping point for pilgrims traveling to Spain's Santiago de Compostela. Yeah. Well, around 2 a.m. yesterday morning, the famed cathedral became the target of a brazen heist. Yeah, apparently 3 suspects battered their way through the cathedral's old wooden door using a tree trunk strapped to the front of a car. Local residents, awakened by the noise, alerted police, but authorities did not arrive in time to stop the thieves from making off with a hoard of historic treasures. Stolen relics include gold chalices, crosses, and ceremonial items. Oh, these guys are going to hell. And an 18th century nativity scene, priestly garments, including a 16th century cape donated by King Francis I. The robbers reached the church's artifacts by sawing through a set of steel bars and smashing protective glass cases. Witnesses said the suspects then fled the scene in a second car. Those responsible will be found and punished, Culture Minister Frank Reister wrote on Twitter, per a translation. I share the emotion of France's Catholics who are legitimately shocked by this theft and the damage caused. UNESCO granted the World Heritage status to the Oloron-Sainte-Marie Cathedral and other monasteries, hospitals, hotels, and landmarks along the route to Santiago de Compostela in 1998. The route has been a meeting place for its pilgrims ever since it emerged some 11 centuries ago. Wow. Hopefully they get those back. Hopefully they do. Here's something scary. A headband that claims to monitor children's brainwaves in order to improve their focus is available for purchase in China, aimed at tiger mothers and fathers who will do everything to help their child succeed. But many of its target customers are already creeped out. Yeah. The headband from U.S.-based startup BrainCo claims it can measure how closely students are paying attention through electrodes that detect electrical activity in kids' brains and send the data to teachers' computers to a mobile app. A light on the headband then gleams red, yellow, or blue, also purports to signal how engaged a child is with the task at hand. One person who doesn't like it says, "My children are human, not animals. They don't need to be cultivated like this." Another says, "Who gave the 2 schools the right to use students as white rabbits to test the headbands? I also have some products that I'd like to test on the kids. Will the school agree?" Finally, as we get ready to go to break, a Hong Kong jewelry company exhibiting at an expo in China unveiled a gold toilet with 40,815 diamonds embedded in the seat. The Coronet Jewelry Brand, owned by Aaron Shum Jewelry Limited, unveiled the golden toilet at the Second China International Import Expo in Shanghai. The toilet is made mostly of gold, with the seat composed of bulletproof glass with 40,815 diamonds embedded in it, a total of 334.68 carats. Coronet said the toilet is scheduled to be inspected by Guinness Book of World Records on Wednesday to determine whether it qualifies for a new record. Most diamonds set in a toilet. That is one expensive deuce. We're going to join up with Drex in Vancouver when we come out of break here right after this on Spaced Out Radio.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world. relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/spacedoutradio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Hey, Spaced Out Radio fans! It's John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. Our goal is to make the life of veterans, first responders, and those with rare medical conditions 10% happier. We do this by donating one grant item, ranging from dance to therapy programs to prosthetic limbs, to those who need it most. To contribute to Spaced Out Radio's official charity, head over to chivecharities.org and become a donor today.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio, you can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Themer. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio. At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Out Radio. Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio joins us live from his show and on our show. Hey, Dave, how you doing, man?
Drax, how you doing, my friend? We are also live on Spaced Out Radio right now with our audience around the world, just like you are, my friend. How you been doing?
Wonderful, wonderful. You know, I was just telling my listeners about the fact that here in Canada, we have an average of around 1,200 reported UFO sightings every single year. Now, Quebec seems to have the most of those, 518. The latest, you maybe got updated numbers. I got numbers from 2017, but in 2017, 518 sightings.
Yes.
Other cities include Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, also being the cities with the biggest sightings. You and I were having a chat on the phone yesterday, sort of getting ready to do this segment here, and you were saying there's something interesting about what happens with your information when you call up to report a UFO sighting in Canada. What happens with your information?
My friend, I will forewarn everybody out there, and let me preface this by saying that I love the job the RCMP does across this country. They do incredible work. They I think we should all respect the police. But when it comes to UFOs, if you got a little bit of tinfoil on your head right now, or at least nearby, and I got a roll within arm's reach of me in the Spaced Out Radio studios here, I can tell you this: never ever report your information to the RCMP if you see a UFO. There are a bunch of other... Well, let me tell you. This is how I found out. Through my interviews of Weird and Strange over the last almost 5 years, I interviewed a lot of Canadian listeners and guests about their experiences. And when you get into the deep realms of the UFO field, where it gets a little weird and strange, it really, really caught my attention about the idea that there were many people up here having very, and I'm going to use the term American type of experiences. So, for instance, I had people who were claiming that they were visited by men in black helicopters that are blacked out, no lights or insignias on them, flying over their houses and hovering, being followed by black vehicles, visits from the CIA, FBI, U.S. military people, projects called like My Labs and MK Ultra, where apparently they take you and they play games with your mind. Yeah, it gets real strange, and I couldn't understand why this was happening to Canadian people, because let's face it, the Canadian government has never really been known for putting money into military programs. I mean, look at our CF-18s. They're 34 years old already. 34 years old plus. It's not that we're spending a lot of money on tactical gear or anything like that, so why would we bother spending on UFOs? So, a couple years ago, my teenage daughter goes to a party. She gets called to a Halloween party with her friends, her little teenage friends, and next thing you know, a bunch of these older teenagers show up, 19, 20 years old, okay? And they think it's going to be fun to get all the young kids at this young 14-year-old party drunk. So, so we go pick up the daughter, and she is plastered. All right? So as concerned parents, we start looking at our daughter, and she's like going unconscious, and we're thinking, oh my gosh, are we taking her to the hospital? What's going on here? We later found out it was a total of 1 Palm Bay. Thank goodness. And
yikes, okay.
I ended up calling the police because you go into dad mode, right? So dad mode is I'm either going to bring a baseball bat over to that party and break it up myself, or I'm going to do the smart thing and call police, which is what I chose. So about 1 o'clock in the morning, I had this RCMP officer call me up saying that he busted the party, and I didn't tell him what I do with Spaced Out Radio. And he said, and I said, do you mind if I ask you a strange question? And he goes, sure. I said, you don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but I'm just going to throw it out there because I have an interest in this topic. He goes, what's the question? I said, what's the RCMP's protocol for UFOs?
Great question.
And there was a long pause on the phone, and I was expecting him to laugh or say something along the lines of, yeah, we don't investigate that stuff. But he says to me, in the air or on the ground?
Oh, is there a difference?
Well, I said, well, let's start off with in the air. I was kind of a little bit stunned that I got that response. I said, well, let's start off at the air if it's in the air. He goes, okay, well, this is what happens. The minute a call comes into dispatch about a UFO sighting in the air, it immediately goes to our staff sergeant's desk, who immediately has to phone headquarters in Ottawa, who immediately calls NORAD in Cheyenne Mountain, Colorado, who dispatches the 2 closest CF-18 Hornets to try and intercept this UFO. Okay. I said, well, what if it's on the ground? He goes, that I'm not sure. He goes, however, I think it would be the exact same protocol, but if there's no military to cordon off the area, they would probably call us in to cordon off the area to make sure that the craft doesn't leave or any potential occupants get out. Okay. Now,
wow.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So if I call the RCMP and say, if I see something in the night sky, and look, many Canadians do, average of 3 sightings a day, UFOs. So if I call the RCMP and report that, my information, because they're going to ask for my contact details, my information is automatically being shared with NORAD and the American government. That creates a whole bunch of issues for people, doesn't it?
Well, you think about it. Because that information is being shared, they're going to ask for your name, your address, your ID. They're going to ask probably for an email, phone number, who is with you. So you're going to give up that information as well, because we've always been trained on this side of the border, trust the police.
Right.
And the regular now let's get this straight here for a second. You know, the regular RCMP, they're doing a great job. They're just doing their jobs. They don't know what happens with that information. So a few months later, I have this story confirmed. I'm sitting at a local spa telling a guy where this guy's talking about UFOs and stuff like that, because I get into all the weird conversations. And there's this lady in the hot tub, and she's getting all jumpy in the hot tub. And she goes, can I interrupt your conversation? I said, sure. She goes, and she starts holding out her necklace pendant. And I didn't have my glasses on, so I couldn't really see what she was pointing. I said, ma'am, I don't have my glasses on. Can you tell me what that is? She goes, it's the RCMP Buffalo. I've been a dispatcher for over 20 years. She goes, let me tell you, everything you have said about this is 100% true. She goes, but I want to add to it. She goes, did you know that when I take a UFO report, there is a special file in the staff sergeant's office where it goes? So you could have somebody breaking into a house or robbing a bank, but the UFO sighting takes precedence over everything.
And why do you think that is? Why do you think that they put such a notice on a UFO sighting over, a potential crime being committed?
Well, that is national security. That has to deal with NORAD. That has to deal with the United States military, who has a very keen interest, probably in the technology, as to whether or not we are being visited from another world, or if it is some sort of technology that is being hidden by another country here that has invaded our airspace. They are definitely going to want to know, because that immediately brings up national security, not just for Canada, but all of North America as well.
Yeah, it makes sense now that you explained that. So I guess my follow-up question would be, and for all of our listeners listening live across Canada, is if I see a UFO and I'm not to call the RCMP, who can I contact? Is there a bunch of different organizations? I know that you have a system where you can actually help people with what they see as well, but who should I be calling or telling?
You know what? There's a lot of independent groups. Do your homework. As you know, with anything, do your homework. Don't just jump on the first Google ad you see when you Google, who do I report it to? Because there's a good chance they may not get back to you. There's a good chance they may be in it for themselves or for different companies, shall we say. Look for somebody who's independent. Like, if you go to our website, spacedoutradio.com, we have an area called the SOR Sightlines Report. So if you have a paranormal experience, you see a UFO in the sky you can't explain, hell, you're walking through the woods of Mission, and all of a sudden you get a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch coming across your tracks, you fill out that Sightlines report. Every investigator that we have is independent, which means that we're not giving the information to anybody else. It's not going to a government source. It's not going to a privatized group that's going to take statistical data. We want it for ourselves, because that way we can control that somebody is going to look into your case and actually take it seriously and not be reporting it to a secondary or third party.
Have you? Let me ask you this. Obviously, sometimes there's multiple sightings of the very same object, whatever it is in the sky. Have you had cases where you've had people report what they've seen to your Sightlines report, and you've been able to go, I think these people saw the exact same thing?
Well, the people who run our Sightlines report are out of Toronto, a guy named Ryan Stacy and his group Tessa, which is the Experiencer Support Association. And that's why I teamed up with them. And they actually follow up reports all across Canada to see if there is any type of correlation between what people are seeing, say, in Toronto, compared to Winnipeg, compared to Regina, compared to Edmonton or Calgary, and then Vancouver. So they are reporting on all of that, and then they are taking that statistical data, which they release every couple of months, just to see what is going out. I think he releases it once a quarter, which is really interesting.
Yeah. So what are the current numbers? Do you have updated numbers? Because I was saying, because I took mine from a global report, which comes from Manitoba-based ufology research. So what are the latest numbers? So is it still sort of around the 11 to 1,200 sightings over Canadian airspace a year? Because back in 2015 it was 1,265. It went down a bit in 16, and then sat at 1,101 in 2017. But here we are 2 years later. Has that number, do you think, gone up or down?
I think it's probably stagnant, because the gentleman who you were reading that report from, his name is Chris Rakowski, one of the premier researchers of ufology around North America, and he's based out of the University of Manitoba. And he is one detailed master at these numbers. And what he tries to do is he tries to debunk every number or every sighting that comes out there, whether it's to MUFON Canada, which is the Mutual UFO Network in Canada based out of Toronto, whether that's Tessa, whether that's other independent groups or people who supply him with the UFO data, and then he breaks it down. Chris is pretty accurate with that. However, you got to realize, in the field of ufology, less than 10% of the actual sightings actually get reported. That's just what's reported. Okay, we don't hear a lot of the stories because people are afraid. This topic is still quite taboo across Canada. Not so much for our listeners that I have on Spaced Out Radio who are listening in the United States or Europe right now, but for those who are in Canada, this topic, we still have that stigma that you're strange, you're weird. If you see something in the sky, people laugh at you, thinking, oh, you believe in that? What were you smoking? How much did you have to drink? I mean, there's all these stigmas that come along with this when this is proving to be a very serious topic. It is already being talked about on a plethora of different avenues within the United States government. All you have to do is Google the topic or keep up to date on what's happening in the United States to see what's happening there. And it would be interesting to see what would happen if our politicians up here in Canada started taking this topic a little bit more seriously, because I believe Canada, due to its role in NORAD, has a very large role to be playing in the field of ufology. And if you look at the Canadian Mint, over the last 2 years, they have specifically made detailed coins about two amazing and the two best UFO incidents in Canada. The Stephen Michalek case at Falcon Lake back in 1967. That came out last year. It sold out in 6 days. And then this year, the Shag Harbor incident, which happened on October 3rd, 1967 as well, a few months after Michalek's case. All right, that was made into a coin this year. It sold out within 36 hours. You could go on eBay, now pick up those coins where you could have bought them for about $100, $120. They're now going for over $1,000 on eBay because they're such highly sought. Yeah.
You know what? We've had Rakowski on the show, and look, to go back to the what you said about the fact that there's still stigma around the fact that people see things in the sky. Do you honestly think that a university in a province would fund a guy's UFO research if they didn't think it was legitimate? People see things in the sky all the time. People automatically, people who don't really swim in those circles, tend to go, "Oh, it's aliens. You must be crazy," like you said. But not every UFO is what you think it is. It like quite literally is that, an unidentified flying object that we're trying to figure out what exactly it is. That's why we want to report these things. That's why we want to talk about them.
Absolutely. And, at Simon Fraser University, Professor Paul Kingsbury actually got a grant 4 years ago, which he is now writing a thesis on that should be published sometime in 2020 in regards to why people investigate the paranormal. This is a gentleman who went in completely skeptical, thought everything and everybody was a bunch of wingnuts, tinfoil wearing conspiracy theorists. And his mind has been changed. His mind was blown. Whether it's about ghosts and the paranormal, whether it's about UFOs or people going to look at Sasquatch, he was granted $184,000 to do a study on people who get into these fringe topics. Went in totally an unbeliever, and now he's like, there is something to this. I do believe universities need to take this a little bit more seriously, but the problem is, who's going to give them the grant money? We don't have that up in Canada, where you would have somebody like a Robert Bigelow down in the United States who brings in millions of dollars to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, UNLV, to set up his own science lab where they can test this sort of subject. We don't have that up here. Or maybe we do, but because the subject is still so taboo up north, that we just don't hear about it.
Here's the website for all of our listeners listening on the Chorus Radio Network across Canada tonight. SpacedOutRadio.com is Dave's website. Go look at what Dave gets up to. And Dave, we're going to make this a regular thing. So let's reconvene again a week from tonight, and we'll chat about something else. Okay? Hey, Dave, thanks so much.
Thank you, Drex, and thank you to all your listeners as well for allowing us the opportunity.
There you go. That is Dave Scott there from Spaced Out Radio, currently in the...
And there we go. Hey, thanks, Bob. Now, Bob, you're still on my show here. You're still on my show here, just so you know. Yeah, you can say hi to my audience.
Greetings.
Now, people don't know me by my real name here, Bob. They know me as Dave Scott. They know I use an alias. But Bob and I actually used to cover the Vancouver Canucks together.
We sat beside each other for many nights.
There was a lot of times where we were sharing binoculars in the press box of what was once GM Place, watching the Vancouver Canucks.
It was not well, for some people it was a great vantage point, not too high in the sky, but you had a good view of the ice, but that's not what we use the binoculars for. But anyway.
No, exactly. Bob, thank you so much. Say thanks to Drex, and we'll talk to you guys very soon.
Awesome. Take care, Dave. Have a good night.
All right. Take care. That's Drex and his producer Bob from CKNW in Vancouver. Guess what? We still have time for a quick thought of the Dave. This thing wants to fire up. Apparently it doesn't. Apparently it doesn't want to fire up. Now, I wonder why. I really want to play this, but it doesn't want to fire. Oh, well. I guess we won't. We won't get to the thought of the Dave today. But that was kind of cool. My man Drex there. Now, how that all started was I started doing some hits on KMOX out of St. Louis with their nighttime host, a guy named Ryan Recker. And the one thing about nighttime radio hosts is you all get to know each other. It's kind of like a brother sisterhood, because you're all in it together. You're all night owls. You all share the same hours. Well, most people are sleeping or in bed listening. And so you end up kind of getting to chat. Well, all of a sudden, we find out that Drex knows Ryan. They've been on each other's show. Drex asks about, me. And Ryan says, yeah, get Dave on the air. He could talk all that weird stuff. So then Drex calls me up and says, hey, let's put you on the air. Let's get Spaced Out Radio a little bit more coverage out there. So that's what we did. And apparently it's going to be a little bit more. So I hope you all enjoyed that. I hope you all do. I want to get some stories out of Drex next time, too, for all of you guys. His show is a little bit bigger. He's got a couple million listeners. We don't got that. Not yet, at least. But you know what? We're all friends. We're all in it together. And that's why we're doing it. Because we all own the night. Isn't that right? Hey, I want to say thank you to everybody for taking part in today's Thought of the Dave. I apologize I didn't get to it. We'll do it all again tomorrow on the Facebook and Twitter pages. Big thanks to Captain Shirk for a fantastic lineup of news tonight. I hope you all enjoyed that. As well as to Geraldine Orozco and the Spiritual You for coming on in the first Tuesday of every month, as she always does. Yeah. She's pretty darn good. She'll be back on December 3rd for the final edition of this decade of the Spiritual You. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother Is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, at work, in your cars, wherever you may be. Special thanks to everybody in the SOR Space Travelers Club on our website. You know who you are. You were fantastic. Everybody on Facebook, Spreaker, Rev Radio, LGAB, and of course the Snarkers at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You guys were awesome tonight. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for sharing your night with us, because I had a lot of fun. Together, my friends, we own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Have a great night, everybody. We're going to do it all again tomorrow. Cheryl Costa is our guest. We're getting into consciousness. Stay tuned. We'll see you in 21 hours. Good night.